Step into a moment frozen in time, a canvas painted with courage, chaos, and consequence. We're journeying back to July 1863, to a quiet Pennsylvania town that would soon lend its name to the turning point of the American Civil War, Gettysburg. What we're about to explore is more than just a historical event. It's a saga of a nation at war with itself, captured in a single, powerful image. Imagine standing on a ridge, overlooking a vast, rolling landscape. The air, thick and heavy, smells of gunpowder and damp earth. This isn't just a field. It's a stage for a monumental human drama. The prompt calls for a cinematic wide shot, and that's our lens. It's not about one soldier, but thousands. We see the long, disciplined lines of the Union Army, the boys in blue, holding their ground. Facing them, the determined ranks of the Confederates, the Graybacks, advancing across open fields under a storm of lead. Look closer within this grand panorama. See the cannons, those iron beasts of war, recoiling with each thunderous blast. A cloud of thick, white smoke erupts, momentarily obscuring the men who serve them, a dance of choreographed destruction. You can almost feel the ground shake with each concussion, a relentless, deafening rhythm that defined these 3 days of battle. This wasn't a distant, clean affair. It was visceral, deafening, and terrifying. Our image also demands cavalry charging through the chaos. Picture it, horses and riders. A torrent of motion amidst the static lines of infantry. Sabers flash in the filtered sunlight, hooves tear up the blood-soaked ground. Cavalry units at Gettysburg served as scouts, screeners, and in desperate moments, shock troops. Their charges were high-risk, high-impact maneuvers, a whirlwind of controlled chaos designed to break an enemy's line or exploit a momentary weakness. It's a testament to the bravery of both man and beast, galloping headlong into a hailstorm of bullets. But the real storyteller in this scene is the sky. The prompt describes a dramatic sky. With sunlight breaking through clouds, this isn't just a weather report. It's a powerful metaphor. The storm clouds represent the war itself, the division, the anger, the immense suffering. The smoke rising from the battlefield mingles with these clouds, blurring the line between man-made and natural turmoil. Yet, through that darkness, shafts of sunlight pierce through. This light symbolizes hope and change, the very soul of our image. For the Union, it was the hope that this battle could be the beginning of the end, a decisive victory that would preserve the nation. It was the hope that the tide of the war was finally turning. For the enslaved, it was the distant, flickering promise of emancipation. A promise that would be given a powerful voice just a few months later when Lincoln delivered his Gettysburg Address on this very ground. The prompt specifies a realistic historical style and high detail. This means we're not seeing a romanticized painting. We see the grit. The torn and dirty uniforms, the expressions of fear and determination etched on young faces, many of whom were barely out of their teens. We see the details of the equipment, the gleam of a bayonet, the brass on a uniform, the splintered wood of a caisson hit by an artillery shell. This realism is what makes the scene so compelling and so heart-wrenching. It grounds the epic scale in human reality. The overall tone is epic, and rightfully so. Over 3 days, more than 165,000 soldiers clashed here. The casualties were staggering, with over 50,000 men killed, wounded, or missing. The sheer scale is almost incomprehensible. This single battle represented the largest military engagement ever fought on American soil. Its outcome had profound implications, halting General Robert E. Lee's second invasion of the North and draining the Confederate army of men and resources it could never replace. Let's break down the 3 days that this single image encapsulates. Day 1 began as a skirmish that escalated into a full-blown battle, with Confederate forces pushing Union troops back through the town of Gettysburg itself. The Union Army rallied on the high ground to the South Culp's Hill, Cemetery Hill, and the long ridge that would become famous. Day 2 saw some of the most ferocious fighting of the war. The Confederates launched massive assaults on both flanks of the Union line. Legendary names emerged from this day's chaos: Little Round Top, Devil's Den, the Wheat Field, the Peach Orchard. Each location became a slaughterhouse, a desperate struggle for control of key terrain. The Union line bent, but it did not break, thanks to the heroic actions of countless soldiers who refused to yield. Our image most likely captures the climax on day 3. After a massive artillery bombardment, the largest of the war, some 12,500, Confederate soldiers under General George Pickett were ordered to cross nearly a mile of open field to attack the center of the Union line on Cemetery Ridge. This was Pickett's charge. It was a magnificent and terrible spectacle. The men marched in perfect order, directly into a focused storm of cannon and rifle fire. It was an act of incredible bravery and a tactical disaster. The charge was repulsed, and the Confederate army was shattered. When we look at this scene, this filmic vision of the battle, we are witnesses. We are seeing the culmination of political division, economic disparity, and deeply held beliefs about freedom and states' rights. We are seeing a generation of Americans forced to fight their own countrymen on their own soil. The smoke hanging over the field is not just from gunpowder. It's the haze of a nation's identity crisis, a painful, violent process of forging a new definition of united. The sunlight breaking through isn't just an artistic flourish. It represents the aftermath. It's the light of a new dawn, albeit one paid for in blood. It's the light that would illuminate the words of Lincoln's address, where he spoke of a new birth of freedom. He reframed the war, not just as a struggle to preserve the Union, but as a fight to fulfill the promise of the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. Gettysburg became sacred ground, a symbol of sacrifice and the enduring power of the American ideal. So, as we pull back from this incredible, detailed, and epic scene this single prompt brought to life, we're left with a profound sense of awe and sorrow. We see the cost of conflict, the bravery of the individual, and the immense forces of history at play. The Battle of Gettysburg wasn't just a collection of military maneuvers. It was a crucible that tested the very soul of a nation and ultimately helped to define what America would become. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to Gettysburg. If you found this exploration of history and art as fascinating as I do, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into pivotal moments. Let me know in the comments what other historical events you'd like to see visualized this way. Until next time, stay curious.